Hey, Wembong World Entertainment, and hot on the heels of the release of Tulsa King Season 3 on Paramount Plus. If you haven't watched Tulsa King, you gotta watch Tulsa King. It's fantastic. And even Season 3 now, we're off to a banger of a start. Robert Patrick in here is a villain. Yes, bring it on. But Stallone, of course, is now going to do a new movie. And it's going to be for Amazon MGM. So the question then, of course, is it for the big screen or simply for the streaming service? We don't know. We don't even know what the movie's actually called or what exactly it's about. But what we do know is who his co-stars are going to be in it. And it's interesting because there are two names that are very well established with martial arts. They're basically two icons of the martial arts world outside of the Western world. One of which we do know and we have seen him in a bunch of things. The other, not so much. So the first person joining Stallone in this new movie for Amazon is Tony Jaa, who has been in Expendables 4. Now, he didn't actually have any scenes with Stallone in that movie, but he was in it. He's actually quite good in it, and he's possibly the smallest role in it as well. He was also in Fast and the Furious 7, Skin Trade, which is a movie with Dolph Lundgren, which I saw before. It's actually a decent enough movie. Something called Warrior King. I do recognize that name. Triple Threat. I'm not sure if that... Is that the movie with Ben Affleck and stuff? The Netflix one? Was that called Triple Threat? Or was that something else? I can't remember. And more. But for some reason, he just never launched in Hollywood. He's been in a bunch of Hollywood things. He's just never got to that point where he was getting... Obviously, he wouldn't be like a massive name, but where he could be used more often. The other guy is a Bollywood star whose name is Tiger Shroff, and he's best known for martial art romance franchises. Bag High, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. Which released its fourth outing this year. So this dude, action martial arts romance franchise, that's a new one on me. Especially in Bollywood, of all places. I wonder if they break out into the Indian dances and get all down and jiggy with it and then beat the piss out of people. That would be weird. So it's saying like Amazon MGM is developing an action film which has the possibility of bringing together Stallone, Tony Jaa and Tiger Shroff. It's a global project, and the idea is to make it in the format of a multilingual film. So obviously it sounds like we're going to be going to each place. Maybe go from the States to maybe Thailand or something, and then India or something like that, and obviously you get some subtitles. So let's see if it says anything. So the report also reveals that the action epic, which does not currently have a title, is being designed as a large-scale global spectacle, blending Hollywood's trademark scale for action with the intensity of Asian cinema. Discussions with the actors have reportedly already begun, with insiders claiming that all three actors have expressed interest in coming on board. And it says the source goes on to state the director of the film could be an Indian name only, and the details have been kept under wraps for now. Tiger Shroff is excited to team up with his idol Sylvester Stallone in this one-of-a-kind pan-world action spectacle. Stallone has made a cameo once in... how do you pronounce this? Combat? I think it's just Combat, actually. Ishq? I suppose, good God, I have no idea how you pronounce all this. However, this one could be his full-fledged feature film if an Indian name comes on board. So I'm assuming that might have been some sort of action Bollywood movie that Stallone cameoed in. Didn't know Stallone cameoed in some Indian movie. Any of you know that? If you did, let us know. So right now, there's no kind of real indication of what the movie exactly is. It's, as it says here, there's no title. What they do know is it's going to be a big action movie, that it's going to be pretty much globe-trotting by the sounds of it, multilingual, so obviously what they're talking about there is more likely it would be that they're going to be speaking Indian, which doesn't actually, is Indian's not Hindu, is it? It is Hindu, isn't it? They're the Hindi language. Obviously Asian. I think the dude Tony Jaa, or Jay, isn't he from Thailand or somewhere like that, or the Philippines? He's somewhere in that area, I believe. I could be very wrong on that, and apologies if I am, but I think he's from there, so you're probably going to be hearing the likes of Filipino or something in that line, and then of course English, and who else knows who else could end up in there. But it's an interesting premise. I wonder if they're looking at it to try and set up like a new big franchise where like this could be the entry into it, and then the next ones, these guys can go off, and Stallone will be more like, not a mentor, but be kind of the cameo in the next ones that kind of gives them the jobs to go on and stuff like that. That could be what they're planning. Don't know. It sounds interesting. Again though, I am curious, and you always get curious when you hear about these type of things on these studios like Amazon, MGM. Like, are they making it specifically for the streaming service end of things, or do they have plans to put it on the big screen? Because I think sometimes we're starting to get the movies where you think it's going to be directly for the streaming service and they end up putting it on the big screen. So you're like, oh, I was surprised about that. Like this Frankenstein that's coming up, which there's a new trailer for, by the way. If you haven't seen that trailer, check it out. Looks fantastic. I couldn't do one because Netflix always hits you for some reason with the trailers. I don't think they hit me with the last one, but they would hit you with that one. But yeah, it looks great. But they made the move all of a sudden to debut it on the big screen as well. So, which I think is a great move. Now, that could also be because they want to try and get Oscars bait. So if they release it in cinemas, you get eligible for nomination. If it still goes the way that it used to, which is it has to be on at least 2 screens in both LA and New York at the same time for at least, I think, 1 week to be eligible. I think that's the way that works. That's how it used to work anyway, whether that still does. So I think that could be why they're releasing it on the big screen. But we've heard nothing about this project. This project really come out of nowhere. Whatever it is, or I should say whatever it'll be called, should maybe give us an indication as to kind of where we might be going in the direction of. Like, will it have some sort of something more in lines of an Asian style name, or will it be a very American style name, or something in between? Don't know. But it sounds interesting. I do recognize, never really knew his name, but I do recognize Tony Jaa. So as I said, I've seen like Expendables 4, Fast 7, Skin Trade. I've seen those. If Triple Threat is the one with Ben Affleck, and who else is in that one? Whoever else was in that. Was Pedro Pascal in that? Oh god, the Netflix one anyway. If he was in that, then I definitely saw that. So I would recognize him. It's the other guy, the Tiger, what's he called? Shroff. Never heard of, never seen any of his stuff. I've never actually watched a Bollywood movie, to be honest with you, so I would not be familiar at all with the Indian actors. But what do you guys think of this movie idea that we're going to have this big, massive action spectacle with Stallone, these 2 other guys, that's going to be globe-trotting and multilingual and all this stuff? Let us know what you think. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.